most definitions, it's going to be Belial, Lucifer, Satan, and Leviathan. That gets switched up depending on who you're talking to and what grimoire it comes from, but that's pretty standard, and I think that was actually put into print pretty heavily by Anton LaVey in the Satanic Bible, where he laid that out and said that these are the 4 crown princes of hell, and everyone's kind of followed on that. It works really well. You can call on an entity like Lucifer or Satan and evoke it, but your ability to, I think, project any kind of effect from calling on those entities is going to be pretty difficult because of the fact that they're not naturally subjugated entities. They're not entities that'll come up and say, yeah, what do you want? They're adversarial entities. So they're going to come up and say, who the hell do you think you are? And why are you calling me here? And if you ask them for things, often they're going to find ways to teach you a lesson along with the result that they give you. And really specifically with Lucifer, massive teacher, and he's the angel of light, really, and so he is going to enlighten you, and that's not going to be through just giving you what you ask for. That's going to be through sending your life into a series of 9 different hells, so you can figure out what's really going on your own. And so, for the purpose of evocation, you would really. It would be beneficial to somebody who's, I think, adventurous and courageous enough to work with the demonic kings. We are talking about ancient gods. And the 9 demonic kings that I have here are basically some of the 9 most powerful entities that I've come across, and that if it wants something done, it's going to do it. The black magician says, no, what you have created is simply not good enough. I'm going to improve upon your model. So the 9 demonic kings really represent pretty intense powers. I was doing a ritual working with these 9 demonic kings for the first time, calling them all in a series of 3 days, calling each one, summoning it up, constraining it, obtaining its powers and its information. In the process of that, I saw that it's not just 9 standalone kings, but they're actually pretty easily grouped into 3 different categories. Now, what I was seeing is that Beleth, Paimon, and Belial are masters of influence. So, Paimon influences the mind. He's able to influence and manipulate people's minds, people's thoughts. I've used Paimon in a lot of different instances to get people to completely change their minds 100% from what they had already determined they were going to do or how they were going to think or behave with a situation. Evoke Paimon, use the ritual of evocation to send him towards your target, and before you know it, all of a sudden they're giving you a phone call, or you're having a visit with them, and they're going, oh yeah, by the way, now I've changed my mind entirely from what I've believed my entire life or thought my entire life, or from how my mind was set on this situation. He can get into people's minds and completely change what their thoughts are. He can implant thoughts as seeds that grow into full behaviors and even lifestyles for people. Belial is well, first of all, he's the demon of lawlessness, of self-governance. So rather than going to any other authority and saying, what is it I'm supposed to be doing, that you rely on your own authority to do whatever you're doing, or whatever you want to do, or whatever you're trying to accomplish. He is able to influence or manipulate situations in a massive way. He can influence and manipulate specifically authority figures. If you ever have criminal charges pressed against you or that are being filed against you, you need to appear in court. The day of your trial, evoke Belial and just ask for his help. And I've walked in when I should have done at least 1 year in prison, probably a lot more. And I walked in, and the judge was like, "Well, why are you even here? I'm seeing your docket, but this doesn't look like a big deal. Just get out of my courtroom." It's like, oh, cool, awesome, okay. And I've known a lot of other people who've had serious pending legal issues that have evoked Belial, asked for his help, and then the issues just completely go away. Evidence gets lost, or the person who's supposed to testify against you gets lost or disappears, or whatever the case may be. He'll find a way to get you out of trouble. And sometimes, as a black magician, you may find yourself on the other side of the whole legal veil. Now, Bailiff is an interesting guy because he specifically manipulates emotions, and when you separate that from what Paimon does, because Paimon manipulates thoughts, the two go hand in hand quite a bit. Obviously, if you feel an emotion strongly enough, you're going to have thoughts associated. If you think about something long enough, you're going to have emotions that become associated. But Bailiff does target specifically emotions, and so if you want to not necessarily implant a thought or an idea for somebody to have, but instead make them feel a certain way about you, I think his classical definition in the Lesser Key of Solomon is, and I could be wrong just from memory, but I think it is to cause love between men and women, and or to cause the magician to be loved by those he comes into contact with. With any of these entities, what's the couple sentences that they'll have in the grimoires about what they can do is basically just a snapshot. But you look at that, if he can cause love in anyone for the operator, he can cause other emotions too. He can cause the opposite emotion, he can cause a whole range of emotional variety. And so really this segment of these three demons is focused on manipulation and influence.